Hello and welcome. My name is Jenny Tucker, and I'm here to talk to you about 5 tools for simple self-care. Before we begin, I invite you to pause the presentation to grab a pen and paper. You can also grab a glass of water, do anything you need to do to take a little break to show up here fully present for just the next few minutes. So whatever you need to do, grab a snack, your water, and then when you arrive, take a seat, feet flat on the floor, stick your chest slightly out, relax your hands, and let's begin. So I'm Jenny. I'm a school counselor, yoga teacher, mental health advocate, and I'm a new mom to a 1-year-old. And I'm here to talk to you today because I've been a school counselor for about 5 years. Before that, I also worked in victim witness for victim witness advocacy, mostly with victims of domestic violence, mostly children and women. And I've also worked as a crisis responder, responding to all different kinds of things, working with law enforcement and serving the needs of our community, both here in Santa Barbara and in Arizona, where I'm from. And I have worked in a lot of roles that have asked a lot of me. And I know that working in the school system or in the community, like you likely do, you totally understand what I mean. I think that we're in these positions because we love it and we want to serve others. And that means pouring a lot of ourselves into the work that we do every day. So that's why we're here to talk about self-care, because I know you've heard it before, but it's so important to make sure that our needs are met so that we can keep showing up for other people. So why self-care? Exactly that. To show up every day and give the best of ourselves to our work and the people, children in our community, we need to prioritize taking care of us. And a lot of times that doesn't come supernaturally, because I think if you work in education or in the community serving others, that it feels more natural to make sure that others' needs are met rather than our own. And we even kind of neglect our own basic needs, and especially our self-care, because we're busy taking care of others, and that's at the front of our mind. But if you think here and look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you are in charge, or let's say you're in charge of taking care of someone else, like I put on a couple slides ago that I'm a new mom, I'm in charge of taking care of this tiny human every day. But I don't just make sure his basic needs are met at the bottom there, security, food. After that, I make sure that he's comfortable, that he's happy, that good things are happening. So same thing, if you think about being an adult in charge of taking care of you, you're your own caretaker. It's important not just to meet your basic needs like eating 3 meals, getting enough sleep. Yes, those are self-care items. They're also taking care of your own basic needs. Beyond that, taking care of you includes those psychological needs and self-fulfillment. Not only do you need safety and food and water, you need to feel like you belong. You need to feel comfortable. There are all these things that we don't prioritize when it comes to taking care of us, but we do these for others every day. So think for a moment here, maybe even take a note with your pen and paper on what is popping up here that maybe you didn't think of when you think of the word self-care before now. So before we move into the 5 tools, they all include the 3 B's, which are breath, body, and brain. Write this down, 3 B's, so that when you leave today, you can at least think back to what are the 3 B's? What can I do right now in this moment that include one or multiple of my breath, body, and brain to bring myself back to the present moment and hopefully lower my stress level, take care of myself in the moment. So our first tool, stack your bones. Right now, put your feet flat on the floor, lift the crown of your head and stick your chest out. Picture your vertebrae stacking on top of each other. Stack your shoulders over your hips. You're likely in a chair, so out from your hips go your knees. Stack your knees over your ankles. One way to check in with yourself and take care of you is to stack your bones, not only for good posture to avoid back pain, low back pain, especially if you're on your feet all day or in a classroom, Not only is it physically helpful to take care of you this way, but it allows you to bring your attention to your physical body and out of your head. 2, breathe bigger. We can do these one after the next, right? So you're stacking everything. Take a few big breaths. Each time, fill up your lungs completely and let it all go. Breathe in more air than you think your lungs can hold. This is another tool to bring your attention to your body and to send signal to your brain and your body that you can be calm in this moment, especially if things feel overwhelming and it feels difficult to stay calm. Sometimes you only have time for a few deep breaths in the day. That's one super crucial tool you can use to slow things down. 3, this is where the pen and paper come in. Look inward. Just like if you were in charge of taking care of someone else, just by looking at the outside picture, you don't always know what their needs are that need tending to. So right now, you can pause here, write down, right now I feel, fill in the blank. Another prompt you can use is, where I need support is, fill in the blank. Do some reflecting, look inward, because it takes a little bit of work sometimes to figure out what needs tending to. Sometimes one feeling like tiredness or stress is related to something else. Look inward. 4, practice non-attachment. So, like I said, you can use all of these in a row together, or they can be used individually. Practicing non-attachment. If you practice it when you look back on what you wrote for the last reflection, right now I feel, practicing non-attachment is removing any good or bad connotations with what you wrote. So it's really the practice of not judging yourself or really judging the world. Non-attachment is the idea that things happen, like thoughts come up in your head, or you say a certain thing or act a certain way. And if you practice non-attachment, it's removing a story about if that thing was good or bad, removing that self-judgment. It is what it is another way. It's the idea of observing the moment for what it is and then moving on to the next one, rather than making up stories in our head about what somebody thinks or what we could have done different. Witness that moment you're in and then move on to the next one. Non-attachment. 5, make your needs known. Just like if you were taking care of someone else, you'd ask them, what do you need? How can I support you? Do that for yourself and make your needs known to others in your life. The more often you practice making them known and asking for support, the more natural it's going to feel. Because for us working with children or in the community like we do, it's not always natural to make our own needs known because we're busy taking care of others. But consider that your needs are just as important. Lastly, just a reminder that everything you need is already inside of you. Think of those 3 B's: breath, body, brain. Those are things that live within you. Use them to take care of you today and every day. And thank you for doing the work that you do. I hope you can acknowledge yourself and start to take better care of you to show up more fully for everyone else. Thank you.